Hey, you're probably traveling this summer, which means you should check out Saily, the eSIM service app brought to you by the creators of NordVPN, because here's the deal. When you go on vacation, your cell phone company really likes that. They're like, great, I could charge you more for really not much.
Let's rip this guy off.
And what Saily said was, how about we don't rip you off and we give you access to over 200 destinations around the world with a Saily eSIM. You will always have a connection when needed. And because it's backed by Nord, because they created it, it's encrypted. Isn't that great too? We love that. Yes. We love that.
I like not giving the giant telecoms money.
That's right.
That's my favorite part of this whole thing.
Yeah. And you don't have to the thing about an eSIM, and a lot of people's just not familiar with an eSIM. All new phones are eSIMs. You don't put a SIM card in anymore. Those days are over. You download the app. It's SAILY in the App Store or Google Play, and you download it and it works. You just have to use the promo code Dangle. It's going to get you 15% off at checkout, which is also pretty sweet. So check out Saily data plans right now. Use Dangle, DANGLE at checkout. Download the Saily app or go to saily.com/dangle to claim your discount. Enjoy your travel and say, ha! to your cell phone company.
SDPN, the Steve Dangle Podcast, with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go! It is July 23rd, and I need to remind you of something. Because you have forgotten, Steve, and Jesse, you have forgotten, and I'm the one who normally forgets. But you guys are forgetting.
Uh-oh.
What's that?
And I think even producer Hayden has forgotten this. It's been a few months, and I think that you guys have forgotten that it is always, unequivocally, undeniably about the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oh my God.
You can't fathom the ways that it's about the Toronto Maple Leafs. But before we fathom them, we have a partnership to announce.
Yes.
That we're very excited about. And we are going to talk about the clip we don't want to talk about. But there is something special coming to SDPN. We're pretty excited about it. So I don't know if you've heard of a 3-on-3 hockey league, Steve. Have you ever heard of one of those? Imagine 3-on-3. So it's 3-on-3 hockey.
This is so mean because this morning I was like, hey, so we're announcing the 3-ice thing, right? And Adam goes, no. And he tricked me into thinking the deal went through. And I was going to be like,
fell through.
There's only one 3-on-3 league that actually exists, and I've been screwed by 2 of them.
Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. It's happening. 3-ice, the professional 3-on-3 summer hockey league, is now in its 4th season. Founded by E.J. Johnson, son of former NHL legend Ed Johnson Sr. It starts Friday, tomorrow. That's when it's going to premiere on SDPN.
Hooray!
And it will culminate in the Patrick Cup Championship. It's already been recorded, and it was done in Iowa this year, Coralville, Iowa. They have been to Europe before and did a World Cup there. But SDPN, along with the NHL Network, NHL YouTube, FanDuel Sports Network, St. Clair Broadcast Group, and a bunch of Game Plus, I think, has it. DAZN has it. And then there's some regional networks that are running it as well.
And we have it.
That's right. So DAZN globally, if you're looking for this, we have listeners in England and Australia and stuff like that, and Sweden, Finland. DAZN's got it free to view internationally starting now as well. So you can get it there. What's great is obviously, so it's at the Xtreme Arena in Coralville, Iowa. And there were national teams, obviously. But this time we've got the city team. So Minnesota, Philadelphia, the NHL guys associated with these. So let me run you through these franchises. 3-ice Boston, coached by Ray Bourque. 3-ice Buffalo, coached by Pierre Turgeon. 3-ice Chicago, coached by Grant Fuhr. 3-ice Iowa, Guy Carbonneau. 3-ice Minnesota, Larry Murphy.
Oh, you don't say.
3-ice Philadelphia, John LeClaire, friend of the show. Yep. And 3-ice Pittsburgh, Joe Mullen. Last one, though, and the most important one to today's episode, is 3-ice New York, New Jersey, coached by future guest of the show, because he's coming on later, Ken Daneyko.
Yes, that's right, Adam. I'm the head coach of the New York, New Jersey team, and we're sponsored by the New York State Lottery. Oh no, the New Jersey State Lottery. Oh no, I'm going to lose my job. Remember, anything can happen in Jersey.
3 skaters plus a goalie per side, not 5 like the NHL. 2 8-minute halves, no offside, no power plays, and the clock and puck almost never stop. If it's still tied after regulation, there is a sudden death shootout. We call it overtime all the time with 3 ice because that's what it's going to feel like. The league scoring leader wears a golden helmet during the next slate of games, kind of like the Tour de France, which is cool. And the playoff structure is condensed. It's a bracket style knockout. So semifinals, 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3. Imagine seeding teams properly. They know how.
I cannot.
There is a consolation game and, of course, the Patrick Cup Championship. This is going to be a lot of fun. And obviously the players, too, are people that you know.
Yes.
Like former Leaf Casimir Kaskisuo.
Yes.
Or Kaskisuo, if you ask Ray Ferraro.
Yes, Keith Kincaid, who was with the Devils for a while. The Montreal Canadiens, I think a couple other teams. Adam Cracknell. Anders Bjork, I saw, is on
That's cool.
Ken Daneyko's team. Tag Bertuzzi, brother of Tyler. There's a number of names that I recognize.
You're going to know these guys.
That's just off the top of my head.
And even if you don't know them, you'll know them after you watch this. So what's
you
going to
will.
happen, Jesse, release schedule-wise, when can people expect this on SDPN?
Every single week on youtube.com/SDPN. First video is tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay, so there will be a premiere set. You'll be able to click a reminder button too, so you get the email. But it's going to be some fun stuff as we go dark through August, because we don't do any shows beyond next week. You will still have things happening on the SDPN YouTube channel to keep you entertained, which is
I think that's the most important thing. You hit subscribe to youtube.com/SDPN and you watch this tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, and then you come back each and every week.
There you go. And we will be speaking with, as I mentioned, Ken Daneyko towards the end of the show. Let me just say this, Ken Daneyko, known for great storytelling.
Yes.
And we have some New Jersey Devils questions because, boy, do they have some lore.
And boy, do I have some answers for you, Adam. I may or may not have done the Ken Daneyko impression at Ken Daneyko. May or may not.
You'll see. Now, I don't want to do this, what we're about to do.
Can I open a pack of hockey cards?
Yeah, open a pack of hockey cards.
no,
I want to do that.
I need this.
Do you want the thick baby?
I'll get the thick baby.
It's the one that definitely has a
An
fake
insert?
one in there.
Has an insert?
Yeah.
fake one.
And then Adam.
All right.
And then
All right, here we go.
I need to friggin' smoke this pack like a cigarette.
By the way, you did a live stream yesterday opening cards.
Yes, it did.
Did you find anything good?
Found 2 me's.
Hey,
Yeah.
any good use or just
There
basic?
was a base me and an insert me.
Okay.
Oh,
I got Yago Dora, the surfer. I got Bill Nye. We've pulled a lot of Bill Nyes.
We have.
Oh, but this is a special one, Steve. This is a cool one.
Is it numbered on the back? I think it is.
On the back. Oh, yeah, it is. 93 of 149.
Oh,
I think I have exactly that. I think I pulled that at Rival Cards the other
There
day.
you go.
there you go.
Quincy Wilson, track and field. Kevin Von Erich, the wrestler.
The wrestling man.
Or Eric Von Kevin, depending upon what side of the world.
Look at that. Lamine Yamal.
Hey,
World
okay,
Cup
that's,
champion.
that's important. We
It's
like
on
that.
the box.
Yes. He is on the box. Steve?
I got comedian Dustin Nickerson. I'm not aware of his work.
That's
but
why you have it.
I will get to know them. I have a special Young Guns of Aaron Brooks, the surfer, who appears to be Canadian, wearing a Canadian patch.
Cool.
Is this numbered? Ooh, I haven't seen this one. It's a clear Young Guns. Got a Gowdy of Ben Whitaker, a fake one.
What is a Gowdy?
Gowdy, it's one of their like old prestigious lines of cards.
So
it's a throwback.
Are people like, whoa, we need to buy the Gowdies?
It's an insert.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They do have Gowdy signatures though. Quincy Wilson, track and field, and Aitana Bonmati, the soccer player.
Nice. So I have Kennedy Smith from the NCAA, Azu Almabayev from the UFC, Andre Agassi, I don't know, just some guy, but this is the insert.
Love that.
Yeah. Young Guns Ryder Wright, who happens to be a saddle rider. He is a Wright claimed his 3rd championship in saddle bronc riding.
Chances Ryder's his actual name.
Ryder Wright. I think it's real. I think Cowboy Ryder's a pretty normal name.
Did they name him Ryder because they wanted him to be a cowboy rider?
Yeah.
Right?
Sure. It's like
His full name is bull riding is my future profession.
when
Right?
Canadians name their kids Easton, like Easton Cowan, we know why you were named that.
Do you know about the WHL player who played for the Brandon Wheat Kings? He was born in Brandon, Manitoba, and his name is Wheaton King.
Yes. It's beautiful.
Yes.
It's beautiful. And Darian Mensah, who's a football player. I'm assuming he was for Duke. There you go. NCAA. So now we get to the thing that we don't want to do.
That was a good yogurt.
Good yogurt?
Yeah, a little palate cleanser.
Yes, it was. You're right, Jesse. You've been to a high-end restaurant, haven't you? Not a lot of people know that they do that.
The ones you own.
Yes. Well, one of my many chain of incredible restaurants with Matty Matheson. Okay. So here's what happened yesterday. I'm at the gym or I'm headed to the gym, and
you work out. We get it.
Puckpedia.
Adam's telling the story so you can talk about the gym.
I went to the gym.
What were you benching?
How many days did you live yesterday?
Oh man, listen. Here's the thing. I have warped time, and so no, I'm kidding. And as I'm walking into the gym, I see that Puckpedia has dropped a podcast with Darren Ferris, and intelligently so, because we know Puckpedia, we know Hart.
Of course.
They have dropped the clip about Mitch Marner, and the headline of the clip, the most important line is, the Leafs, and I'm paraphrasing, didn't protect him.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to talk about it. I remember saying in the group chat, I'm like, can we just not do this? And Steve's, you're like, I'm fine with that.
I was like, I'll do it, but like, I don't want to.
And Jesse didn't say anything, which instantly tells me, okay, we're wrong. And then Drew piped in and said, no, you guys need to talk about this because it's the news.
Yeah, we should probably talk about the hockey news on the hockey podcast where we talk about hockey news.
And we said, I don't want to.
Yeah, but what if we don't want to?
It's also not hockey news.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
It is hockey news.
Literally.
It's hockey olds.
Oh, yeah. It is a bit old.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
Old news, and you didn't differentiate between old news and new news. So.
Yes.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It's hockey rehashing.
There you go.
Hockey dead horse beating.
Yeah.
Hockey rants and rehashing.
Hockey rants and rehashing.
Yeah.
There were new book.
It's just me writing the forward to Darren Ferris's book.
Steve Dangle on Mitch Marner.
Good Lord.
Coming this fall.
I read a tweet to Steve.
The Day the Horse Died by Steve Dangle.
Is it dead yet? We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. It's not dead enough. Just
Part
not
2.
dead enough.
He beats it more.
Holy shit. I just smacked my elbow on the TV. Anyway. Oh.
It's like Resident Evil horse. Just coming back from the dead. Now.
Yeah, the Mitch Marner horse really is built like Chucky. Like just won't go away.
Well, and here's it, but it's like if Chucky rebuilt himself.
Yes.
Because nobody was talking about this. And Hart, I have to give him a ton of credit, intelligently asked. Because of course you ask. Of course you ask. And if Darren Ferris was on this show, I'd be asking.
And the host is Keith Cavanaugh.
Keith Cavanaugh. Oh, it's not Hart. Oh, yeah, it's Keith Cavanaugh?
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry,
Hart
Keith. Sorry,
runs Keith. Puckpedia. Keith Cavanaugh is the host of the show.
Now, I think there's a couple of things in here that actually are new.
Sure.
And
I believe you.
Even though this is a news-driven show and we have to talk about this news, I actually am not surprised by some of the stuff that was revealed, but it hasn't previously been revealed. Okay. So the clip, when Keith sets up the question, the answer, and this is I think this is newsworthy.
Yes.
David Alter pointed this out to us and then pointed it out with the hockey news, and I think he's right. The answer is uninterrupted 7.5 minutes long.
7.5 minutes out of a show that I think is only 37 minutes.
Yeah,
long?
the Bo Byram stuff later on in the show is actually really interesting. You should check that out.
I'll take your word for it.
But it is a 7.5 minute long explainer that leaves out a lot. And it starts with, surprise, surprise, Schedule B bonuses.
Man, I do got to shout out Keith Cavanaugh for something, Adam. Because like working with you for years and years, I'm just like, Adam's such an incredible host. You're such an incredible host. You have skills in that area that I just lack. And there were 100 times during that 7.5 minutes where I was like I would jump in with this, lead him in this direction. And Keith just lets him go.
Which is a smart call.
And I think he would have kept talking. It's 7.5 minutes freestyle off the dome, no beat. Why I Hate Toronto, the musical. And he's just playing the hits. None of this shit.
It was a little Eminem when they stopped the beat during 8 Mile.
Fuck a beat. I'll go a cappella. My name is Darren Fellers, and I'm a friggin' jerk off fella. Like, I hate this guy. But anyway.
Jeez.
Jesus.
I specifically told Drew I would be more mature about this than I usually am, and I just
You're not.
I just did a freestyle rap.
You're not. That's over. Goodbye.
It's 7.5 minutes. The stuff he says is ridiculous. The stuff he says unprompted is more ridiculous. And Keith does a great job just going, what else? But with silence.
Right. And I think
I don't think people give people like Keith and Adam enough credit. There's actual talent to be had in hosting. I know a lot of people, they don't realize it because of how effortlessly people like you and him can make it seem, that they don't realize there's a lot of skill behind that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, credit.
Yeah, you guys can just go back to saying F you, your takes suck. That's fine. I'm good with that. Here's what I want to say. When I look at this, so yeah, Keith, full marks to Keith for just letting him go. The thing about, and I've listened to several Darren Ferris interviews. I listened to 100% Hockey, John Shannon, friend of the show. We love John. Good guy. And Darren was on last year and he was talking about the Mitch situation. He also talked about like Matt Grzelcyk and some of the other clients that needed to be signed or whatever. I thought that was an interesting interview. It was something that we talked about, right? Then, when that interview comes out, the context here is, remember the Mitch Marner TSN interview with Mark Masters? The terrifying Mark Masters. And we're like, oh my God, we got to talk. If only I had told us in September what was in store for us.
Yeah, the lounge chair sit down that they had.
That's right.
Perfectly manicured.
Which apparently, I've heard that they weren't thrilled about afterwards. And so here's what I want. Again, 7.5 minute clip. We haven't even played a minute of it. What is important for you to understand, and I know what the comment section is going to look like. It's, I'm done with this and I'm so tired, and salty Leaf fans. Those are, pick your lane, whatever lane you're in.
Yeah.
I need you to know with my heart and soul that Mitch Marner's paying for this.
Uh-huh.
He wants this.
And he can afford it.
Well, no, but this is his employee.
No, I know.
Or a contractor. An agent works for you.
Yes.
And he makes part of what you make. And so this agent is getting paid to represent this client.
Slander a city and
this and so be it. He wants to slander the city. But this, you cannot tell me anybody that says Mitch does not want this.
No.
Respectfully, the actions don't support the words. And so where I get annoyed after the season of it, and I don't mind fans chirping. That's cool. Chirp away. But it was, they didn't have time to give Bruce Cassidy permission to talk to other teams, but they did have time for the general manager of the Vegas Golden Knights to go on Toronto radio to trash the city after the West Conference Final.
Season's over. Where's Bruce?
Exactly.
Liars.
John Tortorella did it. Obviously Mitch was quite open about his struggles here at the end. And I just think at a certain point, this city has moved on. And before we play this clip, you must understand.
I'm doing this under duress. I do not want to do this.
We've moved on.
Well, we're trying to move on.
I'm trying to move on.
But they keep ramming this thing down our throat where we got to talk about it.
And
leave it alone. You first.
Can I just say something?
Holy!
I got to tell you.
Crazy.
All this says to me, it's a lot like when Matt Tkachuk was like, oh, I'll never go to Ottawa to watch his brother weird. Ryan Getzlav saying, I could never play in Toronto, the media. And this, I will tell you this, and I know I'm going to get a phone call after this. I know I'm getting in trouble after this.
Give him my worst regards.
The whole thing is so incredibly soft.
Oh,
it's enough. You made it all the way to the Stanley Cup final. You've got a gigantic contract.
You would have won the contract.
And I say you, and I mean Mitch Marner, because this person represents Mitch. He is your representative in the public in this interview. And so I would say if Mitch didn't say, yes, go ahead and do this interview and talk about it, then if I were Mitch, I would call him and go, okay, I think we're done here. I'm at my cottage in Muskoka having a really fun summer with my kid and my wife and my family. And I think maybe we could just leave this alone. But I don't think.
Why on earth are we talking about Mitch Marner today?
Yeah.
There's we don't need to.
It's July 23rd, as Adam said off the top. And it's ridiculous that in 2026, in late July, that there's new information about how Mitch Marner's tenure in Toronto played out. Because there is new information, and Darren Ferris here is forcing us to have this conversation again because he's generating news about it. And it's crazy that they would go in this direction at this point in our lives. Everybody's trying to move on except for these people.
It is mind-blowing how soft all these guys admit to being.
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing. And I'm not saying Mitch is soft because of the mental health struggles. That's different. What I'm saying is, okay, you didn't like Toronto, didn't work out, you feel like the organization didn't protect you. We'll talk about that. You're still stung by Schedule B bonuses 11 years ago. Okay, fine.
That's insane behavior.
I'm going to give you a book, and it's called She's Just Not That Into You, Bro. And there's also a follow-up, She's Just Not That Into You, it's called A Breakup Because It's Broken. The relationship, that's a real book, by the way.
Here's a book. When?
This has got to stop.
That one.
And here's what I'm going to read from the transcript, unless you'd like to go right to the clip, Jesse.
Yeah, you can play it. Like, we don't need to put words in his mouth by reading his words.
Just
he can say it himself.
mind-boggling. Go ahead.
Can I boo?
No. Don't say anything. People may not have heard this.
Steve.
Like, why can't I heckle? You can't hear me. I'm not interrupting.
Right, because you'll talk over it.
Here, let's see how it performs. Let's go.
Really enjoying
Boo!
it there. He's got a clear mind. He's able to focus on hockey. It's unfortunate in Toronto the way things went. Right from the get-go. I think people think this whole story with Mitch started with his contract dispute originally, or that negotiation, and that's not really where it started. I mean, back when he first signed with the Leafs and his entry level, they did not want him to have performance bonuses in there, and Mitch decided he would help the team out. They asked him to. I had some pressures from guys that were working for the London Knights and also working for the Leafs, pressuring him to sign. And eventually Mitch just told me, Darren, I want to sign this. So, against my, wishes, he did. They promised nobody get him. And as you know, they didn't fulfill that. And, and he soon found out that, a promise that isn't in the contract isn't a promise. So it's a tactic.
Can you explain that? Just for people who aren't aware, maybe you've joined Leafs fandom in this show later on since that's happened. Can you explain the bonuses with Mitch and then who got them afterwards and who was in charge at that time?
So let me give you the brass tacks bonus thing. You can talk about the story. How's that? Okay. Sure. An NHL Schedule B bonus is a large unguaranteed financial incentive in an entry-level ELC contract for awards, statistical top 10 finishes, or all-star selections. They are capped at a maximum of $2 to $2.5 million per season. So they are triggered by, and it's not like $1 million per thing. It might be $250,000 or whatever. If you win a Hart, a Vezina, a Norris, a Selke, a Rocket Richard, a Conn Smythe, or finish in the top 10 in scoring or goal scoring races, can also be triggered by an all-star team, first or second all-star. And I'm not talking about going to the all-star game. I'm talking about first team and second team all-star. Only 10 players get that, and then 2 goalies. And then they actually don't count against the team's cap during a season, but bonuses are applied at season's end and carry over to the next season. So that's how it all works. Just throwing that out there. So,
and in the Schedule A and Schedule B with the rookie bonuses specific.
Yeah, that was Schedule B that I just gave you. And he was mad about the Schedule B.
Yes.
So at the time, Austin had just been drafted. Mitch had been drafted a year before. Mm-hmm. They both had to sign their ELCs that summer. And we remember at the time that actually went a lot later than we thought. Lou had just taken over. And?
Well, so I'm a little confused as to when Mitch signed. I think it was before.
Oh, it was before Austin.
Matthews.
Yeah, no, that's why they're mad about it. Oh, it was before Matthews drafted.
I think it was. Well, it was signed 15-16 and Matthews was drafted spring of 2016. We'll find that out because it would have slid. It would have slid a year. This camp has a deep resentment of Austin Matthews, and they've been chasing what Austin Matthews has ever since he joined the team, which is a shame because he started.
But explain that.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not going to that.
For
So
people
go to
who
the
don't
narrative part.
understand.
We got to tell the story.
Okay, Marner, who is a 4th overall pick, the Leafs were like, we don't do bonuses. Then they get the 1st overall pick. And if you remember, Matthews wasn't signed, like McKenna signed like days after getting drafted 1st overall. Matthews dragged into like
August.
late July, August.
Yeah.
Which was unusual.
So did Marner, by the way. He was the year before, July 28th, 2015. So he was the year before.
Got it. Perfect. So this lines up great. So the Leafs have not played the 15-16 campaign.
Mm-hmm.
They have not finished last. They have not won the draft lottery. They do not have Austin Matthews. And Lou Lamoriello is like, we're not doing the whole bonus thing, Mr. 4th overall pick. Life changes, and reality changes when the Leafs win the draft lottery and they get Austin Matthews. And they tried to pull that with Austin. And Austin's camp was like, no 1st overall pick has ever not gotten these. We're getting them. And they tried to stick to it, and they used the leverage of, we're the 1st overall pick. What's the matter with you?
And why not?
And even Lou Lamoriello, who I get the impression doesn't relent on anything, relented. And the fan base was like, what are you doing? And sorry, we weren't privy to the private conversations you had with Marner. So the Leafs were like, we don't do this. And then they did that.
Yeah.
But it's the 1st overall pick, in which you are not.
And so
You are not that.
Mitch Marner's entry-level contract was signed on July 28th, 2015.
Right. So
There you go.
I went on Puckpedia. His signing bonus, by the way, was $93,000, which I don't know if that's just what it was at the time,
That is
or
what
if
it
he's
is.
like,
I think
I
that's-
need my junior jersey number in there.
No, I think it's what it is.
Okay, great. Well, guess what? Then he signed his new deal, and it was.
You're jumping ahead.
I am jumping.
You're jumping ahead. Don't do that.
So
Don't do that. Just
from before his first game was played,
Mm-hmm.
they're slighted.
I think that's what I just wanted the people to explain, and we get back to the thing. It's just like, that's what the sequence of events, when he says they said this wasn't a thing and then they did the thing, he's talking specifically about Mitch's contract on the ELC and then Austin getting the Schedule A bonuses and Mitch getting the Schedule B.
Right.
That's what he's referring to.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, that was over 200 million Canadian dollars ago. That was over 164 American dollars.
Save your bullets, because I think let's keep going.
Okay.
So nobody ever talks about the fact that, Mitch did the team a favor back then. Then we got,
Pause there. The reason I want to pause
Yeah.
is because we looked into this, and he wouldn't have accomplished a Schedule B until, I believe, the John Tavares.
I think year 3.
This was in an era wasted.
Yeah.
You did the calculations on what they were upset about.
So
I
he
think
lost out on like
it was
$1 million.
a quarter. I think it was 250.
It's like,
I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah, it's like $250,000, which, by the way, he could sneeze into an endorsement deal at that time and get without escrow, which was high at that time.
The thing they
It's
were
crazy.
very upset about, and still are to this day upset about, he barely would have accomplished it in the very end of that contract.
Whereas Austin got it first season because he's
Austin
40 goals,
did.
Calder winner.
Calder, yeah. And Mitch wouldn't have accomplished it outside of that one bonus at the end, the 250. And that's it. So it's not like he knocked all the Schedules A out of the park and he would have made like an extra $3 million or anything like that.
Okay.
contract negotiation in 2019. And statistically, Mitch was, his performance warranted him being compensated in line with the other players on the team. And truly, I
Pause.
believe the organization didn't.
Austin Matthews. That's who he's speaking about.
Yes. Yeah.
William Nylander made like, what was it, 6 something?
6'9".
Oh, 6'9".
No,
Well, I don't recall him asking for that.
No, it was never. This never been about like a comparison to Willie. It's always been what comparing Mitch to Austin. Mitch
Right.
thinking he's that level, and that's what Darren Ferris is referring to, but he's not saying it by name.
So rookie bonuses. No. This is important though. Rookie bonuses. Austin.
Mhm.
Austin signs his extension, and Ferris is in the newspaper shitting on the contract. Austin.
Mm-hmm.
We want this amount in line with the other players on the team. Austin. It's always been about Austin. He's the worst friend in the universe.
Well, there is
it's crazy.
There is a note about Austin later on in the interview, but we're jumping ahead here. So let's have the. But you're right. I'm not trying to. I'm not.
I
trying
think
to
that
say,
was important to say.
It's an important say, but I just want you to know that there's another part where you'll be able to bring the Austin thing up, and it's highlighted
he become
in red.
the player he became. And there was a lot of misinformation out there on actually what transpired. To this day, people say he didn't show up for training camp. Well, he did. They didn't miss a day of training camp. I think there's a few podcasts out there or media people that said he held out. Well, he's never, ever held out from a camp. And so there was a lot of misinformation. So we just kept spiraling into a lot of, very, information that created I guess made him the villain here in the city to that point. And to this day, I think he still gets attacked. I think the majority of the people support him, but there's always those ones that are fanatic about it. And frankly, as time went on, Mitch became the focus of everything, scrutinized for every game, him and his family criticized after every loss. And at points, receiving threats on social media, which was disturbing. I received plenty of disparaging comments and
here's another one. You suck.
Misguided reports myself. And there was a hysteria that, Mitch was, you got to remember, Mitch was carjacked in Toronto, and every year the team came up short. He was.
That had nothing to do with Mitch
Can
Marner.
we just pause that for a second?
So
I think it's important you understand. I think it's important you know that it was a gaggle of Leaf fans carjacking Mitch Marner.
Hey, you were bad in the playoffs, and that's why we're carjacking you. What? Have you lost your mind? He's persona non grata. If John Chayka signs a single client of his, I'll lose respect for him. You are not welcome here.
Mitch
Holy
Marner,
shit.
I think he lives here.
When he was
fuck off then.
Mitch
Like,
Marner,
are
when
you
he was
joking?
carjacked in Etobicoke, the people who were after his SUV and they actually had no idea it was Mitch Marner in that incident. It's very unfortunate that
you know that
happened to him. And I can
Yes,
only
of course
imagine
it is.
how traumatic that is for him. But
Yeah.
it did not have anything to do with him being who he is as a Toronto Maple Leaf.
Right.
He's going through
happened,
his
though,
list
Darren
of grievances.
Ferris inserting that into the conversation there is a little disingenuous.
How disingenuous. How dare you?
And then they moved to a
It's
city where carjackings
diabolical.
are double per capita, by the way. Should throw that in there.
You're a hunk of shit for saying
Enough.
that. For bringing that up in the conversation that you're having.
Yeah,
How dare you?
To put it in the middle of you're naming things that the wrong side of Leaf fandom did to Mitch, which is inappropriate. You shouldn't be
the
doing
threats
that.
and stuff, but who's
They throw things on his cottage lawn like you can't
Bullshit.
do that, but nobody
Should
supports those people. And to throw in the carjacking within that conversation is, like I said, disingenuous.
What a just a bad person. Like I try not to go there. You're a horrible person for bringing that up. And the heavy implication is Leaf fans did it. Outrageous.
keep going?
You have to be joking, Darren. Grow up. Oh my God.
It's funny because carjacked in Toronto, the hysteria that, Mitch was.
Oh, there's hysteria.
You got to remember, Mitch was carjacked in Toronto, and every year the team came up short. He was the one singled out. And, it's funny because hockey is a team game. You can't pinpoint one person. This is a guy that, had the most playoff points on the team, and who played through a fractured ankle in the Boston series there. And he really bled for that team. And, he was never protected by his organization, in my opinion. I mean, much was made of the Carolina proposal that Brad Treliving put in front of him. I mean, nobody had the real information that was out there. There was never a trade in place. It was a suggestion put to Mitch. Would he go to Carolina if a trade would be consummated? You know, and people forget the timing. You know, Mitch's wife was pregnant, about to give birth to the firstborn son. You know, that is not a moment any player is comfortable with being traded. And, you know, here's really what people don't know. Through that year, you know, Brad Treliving and I sat down a couple times and discussed Mitch's situation. I tabled a lot of concerns and said we'd wait and see how the year played out before entering into any contract discussions. And I think, you know, that Carolina thing really, that whole episode or that whole event of what happened, I don't think helped the situation. And I think there was no real effort by the organization to rectify any of the concerns. And at one point, I even positioned, and that was early in the year, you know, that Brad maybe look at opportunities for a trade if he wasn't comfortable in waiting. And if they wanted to trade Mitch, you know, he would consider going to the Western Conference. And it wasn't just Vegas at that time. Honestly, I felt they always wanted to trade him regardless. I think just the whole Carolina episode was the catalyst here. It was perceived, you know, differently in the media.
Let's hold it there for a second.
Keith is the most patient person on earth.
Let's hold it there for a second.
He's the most patient.
He's probably not a Leaf fan either. But I want to I want to drill down that. So what Darren is saying is actually there were more. I don't think the entire Western Conference was available for the Leafs to trade Mitch to. I'm sure they gave a few teams. But this is, again, well, it was the Western Conference. It wasn't just Vegas at the time. So is that one team, two teams, five teams? What are we talking about here? Is this Dylan Larkin, or is this a 15-team no trade? What are we talking about here? And so that is news that he would have accepted trades to other teams. I doubt it would have been many. And I highly doubt that those teams would have given Toronto a fair shake in a trade back, so Treliving looks like shit. Now, I can tell you this.
How many people...
When he says, I think Toronto... I always felt that they wanted to trade him regardless. I am led to believe that's true. I don't think the Leafs saw that being a long-term thing. And the reason that I feel that way and what I've been told is that they felt he wasn't re-signing. When Darren talks about, hey, we came to them with a whole bunch of issues at the beginning of the thing that, you know, they didn't really rectify at the beginning of that season. What they actually came, and this is direct from a source, they said, we're not negotiating with you in season. We'll see how we feel at the end of it. And by the way, here's a list of stuff, which he just admitted to. And the Leafs were like, yeah, you're a player on this hockey team. I don't think we can address this list of stuff. We're probably going to have to trade you. So when Darren says, I think they always wanted to trade him, that's true. And I can also tell you now, because enough time has passed, that despite how last season went, because it wasn't good, Toronto was terrible last year, there was some relief around the organization that this had happened, finally.
Oh, yeah.
Because this had been building for years.
Can't imagine why.
And because it was in the dressing room. It was around. People knew. And so I'm not saying anybody's a bad person or didn't show up and work hard or any of that stuff.
I am. Darren Ferris is a bad guy.
Okay, well, fair enough. But Darren's not in the dressing room.
Bad guy.
But it hung in the hallways. And to say that it didn't, I think is probably disingenuous. Darren hasn't said that. So my issue, and as we stop halfway through this clip, my issue with some of the interviews he has done, Keith rightly lets him go. John Shannon rightly lets him go.
Sure.
I have yet to see Darren go on a show, because he does like the media tour when it benefits him, as we all do. I'm not saying he's alone in that. To go on a show that will push back. that will aggressively push back. You know, if Darren were to come on this show or do a one-on-one, because I can see how maybe a 3-on-1 might be too much. You know, like I get that. I would have a list of things where I'd go, okay, what happened here? What happened here? The Toronto Star article after Austin signs his contract. You guys claim you're going to go play in Zurich. The report that you fed to Darren Dreger about signing in Columbus. All of these things that by the way, the Columbus thing is true. Columbus was willing to offer. Mitch just wouldn't sign it. All of these things. And he said, oh, people say that he missed a day of training camp. I don't know a single person that's actually said that. The reason he didn't miss training camp is because the Leafs capitulated. And the reason Leafs capitulated is because William Nylander had missed 3 months the year before, and it tanked his year, and the Leafs were trying to win the cup. So
he was extremely close to missing.
So when you say you didn't miss a day of training camp, that's because you got your way. Don't tell me that it was some altruistic thing. No, you got your way.
No, he made sacrifices, Adam.
The Leafs asked him to make what Nikita Kucherov made. What he wanted was more than what Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews were making.
Like, okay.
That's what happened. That's what happened. And they were Stanley Cup winners, and they were going to UFA, and he was an RFA and had won nothing at that point.
I just need everyone, like, before you go to bat for this guy and lick the boots until you find the gumball. 164.09 million. That's how much he's played for and signed for. That's his ELC, his second contract with the Leafs, and this deal with the Vegas Golden Knights. 164 million American dollars. You factor in the exchange rate, which I put in at 1.25, which is...
That's low.
It's low. I'm undershooting it by, I think, a lot.
About 8%. Yeah.
Yeah. It's 205.1 million Canadian dollars.
And that's just what's on the books on the NHL salary. And remember, he was on every ad he could possibly be on. And got power to him. He was doing real estate ads. He was doing Red Bull.
Yeah.
He was doing
insurance.
Like, and again, hey, good for you.
Sure.
But like, you know, then we're hearing later when he's replaced by William Nylander because he leaves town and everybody's, oh, well, he's after.
When his career is over, because his deal expires when he's 36, I assume he'll sign at least one more plus endorsements. He will have made $250 million. And I'm supposed to feel bad for you. He was wronged by Mike Babcock, which we all seem to agree on.
100%.
But he was wronged by Lou Lamoriello with the Schedule B stuff.
So that's just...
No, wait. Mm-hmm. And he was wronged by Kyle Dubas because they didn't protect him enough. Mm-hmm. And he was wronged by Brad Treliving. And also he was getting pressure by a guy who worked with the Leafs and Knights, which I interpret to mean Mark Hunter. Mm-hmm. And also Brendan Shanahan was there the whole time. And he was the president and my client wasn't protected. Holy... I'm holding it together.
I don't think you need to at this point.
At some point, yeah, I'm trying. You have one of the most blessed lives I can think of.
Yes.
And let's stop.
And you've earned it.
And he's earned it. Mitch has earned it.
Mitch has earned it.
I want to turn it back to Darren Ferris. Your client was a Care Bear in this city. The team he grew up idolizing, the team he grew up cheering for, the team that he wanted to play for his whole life. And he got that dream. And you and the people around him made sure to instill in him that he was a victim and being wronged and that his lifelong dream was a bad thing, a terrible thing that was a wrongdoing to him. You made sure that was ingrained in his brain before day one. And the beginning of the end with the Care Bear persona was that nonsense you pulled in the Toronto Star in 2019. And that's you, Darren. That's you.
At the behest of Mitch, who employs him.
All right.
Sorry. Steve, I respect what you're saying.
Yep.
But I said it at the time. People were like, well, I remember doing this show. We did it at Bell. That was the Pure Later truck kit. And people were saying, well, he's only 22. I'm sorry. He's 22 making $10.93 million. And I think at that stage, you need to be taking responsibility for your part in this. And,
your life.
And part of what bothers me about the Schedule B thing is, we got screwed. Mitch did the right thing. Remember he said at the beginning of the clip, Mitch said to Darren, you know what? I just want to sign this. When you say that and you don't get what you want in your contract, and then somebody the next year gets what you wanted, and even though it's not an apples to apples comparison, you're not Austin Matthews. You're not.
It's Darren taking a bullet for Mitch.
No. It's Mitch and Darren and everybody in that camp, but it was ultimately Mitch's decision, even at 18, to forego it. I'll get it on the next one. You own that. You could have held out longer. You could have, but you chose not to. So you've made that choice. The Leafs pressured you into it. That's how contract negotiations go.
Yeah.
And you
were the first person this ever happened to.
So then you learned, and the next deal, you got it back. So why don't we call it even? But they can't do that. And they won't own their part in this. And that Darren especially will not own his part in this. And I just can't
Darren's
believe watching this right now. I know he is.
I can't believe we're doing this.
And he loves this.
I know.
He loves this. He loves being the villain. We're giving him exactly what he wants.
I'm tempted to delete the whole thing.
Yeah.
So question. Why do you think this happens today?
Because
I'd love to know.
He's bored.
That's the best answer.
Let me tell you something. This is not going to end. You guys think this is it? This is not going to end. This is the rest of his career. He does anything the rest of his career, be like, man, I'm so glad I'm out of Toronto. I'm guaranteeing you this. This is not, Leaf fans, get ready. This ain't going away. They will never stop talking about this. You know why? Because somewhere deep down, they know it should have worked, and they know they had a part to play. Am I saying the Leafs are perfect? No. I've been hard on Dubas, Lou, Shanny, all those guys.
We've criticized them
to death
for as long as we've been a show.
But to say that the Marner camp has zero responsibility and that the team didn't protect him, I'm sorry. Steve Keogh, he's no longer there, but we like Steve immensely. Steve ran that ship within an inch of its life. He was the tightest PR man in the entire league. They won't even let you in the dressing room. They took reporters off the team plane. They're like, no. You used to be able to go in the dressing room, and Steve Keogh came in and said, no. We'll bring the players to you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And we'll let them say no. You're telling me after the loss in Game 7, when Mitch, who wore an assistant captain jersey, the last one, wore an assistant captain on his jersey, refused to come out and speak to the media, which again he did after the Stanley Cup this year, might I also say. Happy to come out and talk when we win, don't want to talk when we lose. You're telling me the organization didn't protect you? You're part of the leadership group.
The caveat of I'm going to talk about Toronto if we win,
that was crazy.
It's wild behavior. Wild that it should be universally mocked behavior. Are you kidding me? And Darren needs to take part in his ownership. Darren needs to take ownership of his part in the fact that his client will never live his childhood dream. He wanted to win the Stanley Cup with the Toronto Maple Leafs. He might win the Stanley Cup. Mm-hmm. He might. And that's incredible.
But
and
where will it not be?
Most people don't. Most people do not win the Stanley Cup.
Where will it not be, though?
It won't be fucking here. And that's what he wanted. And you need to take some ownership in that. They're trying to cling on to something that's long gone.
Now,
I'm exhausted by what I know the reception to this is going to be.
Actually, I think it's going to be different than you think. I think this.
I
saw a lot of people and a lot of other fan bases going, okay, listen, I hate the Leafs, but what is this?
I think people on Mitch's side, not on Mitch's side, everyone is exhausted about this conversation.
But I don't think this is going to end.
I don't think you need to start it from the point of, I'm tired of.
Yeah, I just as a Wild fan, obviously I work with you guys and I lived in Toronto and stuff, and my dad's a Leafs fan, but I cheer for the Wild, and I don't really care if the Leafs do well or not. It's more fun when they do well. But even I as a Wild fan, I'm like, are we seriously doing this still? I'm exhausted, and my team's not even in the same division or conference.
Yeah.
Yep.
And how many people, how many shows talked about the Carolina thing, for example? From day one, I'm like, well,
his wife's pregnant.
yeah, his wife's
And
pregnant.
she's about to give
I
birth.
wouldn't do it either.
Yeah.
All right, the ranting into Toronto swap.
Yeah, this is the thing.
Yeah.
They're making stuff up. He's making that up.
And
There's not a
using the
single
truth to lie.
Toronto show that was big at that time that was saying, no, he absolutely should have waived his no trade. His wife be damned.
No, if we
Not anybody.
we blamed the previous regime for not trading him when they had the opportunity to, when he didn't have the no move clause.
Yes.
I feel like anybody who knows the conversation is just like, yeah, you guys have had this conversation 800 times over the last year because Darren Ferris and Mitch Marner keep bringing this up.
And he led the team in playoff scoring, which is the same.
That is not true.
Tired use. It is true.
It's not
using
true in the way
truth-
he thinks it is.
It's
not a
using the
flex,
truth
sorry.
to lie.
Yeah.
It is using the truth to lie.
Yeah.
Games 1 through 4, sure thing.
It was
Games
always
5,
5, 6, and 7.
Yeah, we watched the games. We know how the leading the team in playoffs.
And did we make him play that way?
Yes.
We made him play that way?
Yes, it was our fault.
Own your part in this, which is you didn't come through in the big moments. End of story.
There was
End
Steve Dangle
of story.
did this. It is Steve's fault.
There was one incident where I was like, okay, so like just humiliation's dead and there is no shame. Is the Leafs are down 3-0 to the Florida Panthers in 2023. Mitch has a great game 4. Leafs won 2-1. I believe he had a goal and an assist. And after the game, I was given a secondhand nanny boo boo from his camp. Hey, how do you like that? You're the softest people in the world.
We were rooting for him the whole time.
First of all, we were rooting for you. So thanks for doing the thing we've been begging you to do forever. Also, you're down 3-1. If you were up 3-1, it would be enough of a hill to climb. You're down 3-1, and you're looking at members of the fan base and going, nanny boo boo? Get help. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yep.
Listen, your life, I think, is as hard as you make it sometimes. And they're playing on... They're on rookie mode and playing like it's and complaining like it's all-star. I don't get it.
So let's continue the clip. Yeah.
Mitch took his time and he looked at all the pros and cons of every team. We sat down, discussed them all with him and his wife, and which ones that he'd be interested in. He decided, the place he'd be most comfortable was Vegas, and the rumors that he always wanted to go there are not true. And everyone said, they were shopping for a house in Vegas. Well, that's not true. They were, when guys are in different towns, they look around. They're always looking at different places they go to. And there was,
he just contradicted himself.
There was someone else put out something about there being tampering. Right. There was no tampering whatsoever, that everyone kept putting on social media. I mean, look, Vegas does a great job. Kelly McCrimmon, George McPhee, quality people.
Well, you lose me
They've
there.
been nothing but aces. They've treated Mitch and his family very well, protected him when, whenever there's misinformation was in the public. And at the end of the day, they got one of the world's best players and an even better human being. Not much more I can say there. He's enjoying his time there.
Can you imagine playing poker against Keith?
And him and his family, I think, are happy with their decision. Very happy with their decision. So
yeah. So
and I think
so. That's the end of the Mitch segment.
Yeah. So Kelly McCrimmon and George McPhee are aces until he underperforms for you, and then they will not be aces. I will guarantee you that.
I don't know what more.
And I'm not saying Mitch will anytime soon, but we know what happens. They take the old horse out back and they shoot him in Vegas.
Oh my God.
They do. They do. They absolutely do. They do this to all their old players. They do.
And, I don't know what kind of treatment you're looking for. You ever seen those videos of how Wagyu beef is made, and they have those guys surrounding the cow and
the cow's drinking beer?
What else? What else do you want? What do you need? What do you need?
Is Mitch Marner?
What do you
Wagyu
need
beef
today?
Cow?
There's stuff, guys. Listen,
Mitch Marner's a Wagyu beef cow.
I guess. But no, that cow has a better life than him, I think, is they wake up every day. And,
How come we didn't get that in our contract? Austin got it.
I wish I was a Wagyu beef.
There is
And you're playing, by the way, in the National Hockey League, which is full of 800 psychopaths. In a full contact league. And like, I think the treatment this guy gets from the people around him, it's a miracle. He might be better than Gretzky. Like, if he had a different camp around him, holy shit. Like, we might be talking about it an all-time kind of talent.
I want to read something.
It's incredible.
From the transcript, because it was largely missed, but David Alter pointed it out, and I'd like to point it out. Earlier on, it said, and so there was a lot of information, so we just kept spiraling, and a lot of information that created, I guess, made him the villain here in the city. And to this day, I think the C still gets a tie.
There it is. So that's when I was making the hand gestures, there's another Austin thing.
That's an Austin.
They grew up playing against, same age group, they grew up playing elite hockey against Connor McDavid. And I know for a fact the people around him were obsessed with Connor McDavid from the time they were at least
everybody else was
old.
looking at Connor and not Mitch in the same way. Yeah.
From the time they were at least 7 years old, and that's why you agreed to do that psychotic CBC interview and obsessed with him. And then he finally gets drafted by the Leafs. And Connor's miserable he wasn't drafted by the Leafs, or at least that's the story going around, and you feel good about that. My son is drafted by the Leafs. He's the future of the Leafs, and yours isn't. And he's in junior, and he's doing great. And then Austin arrives, and you found a new thing to hate. And they hated him.
Not Mitch, though. Mitch and him are friends.
What a horrible friend. With friends like that, who needs enemies?
I'll tell you.
Adam has never sent someone after me in the newspaper.
No, I never have.
Like to talk about how
Steve,
I make too much fucking money.
There's still time.
That's an insane thing to do.
There's still time.
Wait.
There's still time.
You just wait.
What a crazy thing for a friend to do.
Oh, you just wait.
It's coming. Wait till Jesse comes after us. Send his agent in.
I saw that clip again of, like, sometimes the timeline gets messed up. I saw that clip again of Austin and Mitch and Willie all arguing on the bench, and I had to be reminded that was 2024. How the fuck didn't they find any human way to break that shit up? And if I'm not mistaken, that was before Willie signed his extension.
Yes, it was. That was
How?
That was Boston, I think. Last Boston series.
And I hammered Mitch. Of course I did. But I remember being like, okay, so you let his no move kick in. So you're trading Willie then. And then Willie had that incredible start, and they're like, well, I guess we're keeping him. And I'm like, you guys are insane. So is the second you signed William Nylander, you've made your bed that you are losing Marner for nothing.
Mm-hmm. And they intended to use their leverage, as Darren always does.
Yeah.
And they did.
There's lots of blame to go around. I wish Marner would take an iota of that. The team not breaking this up after 2021? Mm-hmm. Okay. After 2022? You sure? After 2023? What are you, nuts? 2024? You are nuts. 2025? How do you like them apples? Oh boy.
Yeah. Well.
Oh boy.
So here's the thing. And I would listen. If
you don't get a drought this long by making great decisions.
If Darren Ferris would ever make an appearance on SDPN, I would agree we could do a one-on-one or something like that, 60-minute style, because I can understand how maybe coming into a three-year an episode like this might be too much. But I would ask the next person, because John Shannon let him talk, Keith Kavanagh let him talk. Good. Can the next person please challenge him? And I'm not saying that those two did any wrong. I think you have to let him talk. But now we've heard it, and we've heard it a couple times. Please challenge him on some of these details. I have the whole timeline in my head. I wouldn't even have to do any research. And this part of it is what's so frustrating for Toronto fans, I think, because, you are leaving out all of the stuff that you did, and you had a part in this, and your part was actually quite massive in this. And your camp's part was massive in this. I know They didn't like very much the family being involved, the way to go Paul stuff on Twitter back in the day or whatever.
No, they hated that.
But here's
Tried
the
to get
thing.
people fired over
But
it.
Paul involved himself. He was a part of this.
Sick
He was
burner.
feeding people. That's the frustrating part. And I know the people here in Toronto who are still connected with them who go really soft. Really soft. It's pretty obvious. And for me, that's where I get annoyed because it's like, yo, listen, if we wanted to toe the line and just go along with whatever they told us to say, we too could have a source. But what's frustrating about this is that if you want to cover this story honestly, they're going to attack. They're not happy with you about it. And I get why. Okay, I'll give you one. They were all about the media and talking to the media and feeding things to the media in 2018 or 2019, whenever he signed that extension. And then he signed the extension, and what happened? Don't fucking talk about his contract. Don't talk about the money he's making. And we experienced that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't believe you would talk about, why would you make this about money? You spent the whole summer making it about money, and then they come back, and I'm telling you guys, they come back and they're like, don't you dare make it about money.
In a cap world, it's childish behavior. It's the definition of having your cake and eating it too. Oh my God.
And if you don't believe me, if you keep pushing me on this, I'll tell the story. There is a story. Do you remember the story? There's a story.
Oh yeah?
Mm-hmm. I don't know if we can tell it. Maybe we can make an edit point here. But do you remember the story?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay. And Jesse can be the one who says whether this gets into the show or not.
What are we doing here?
After the podcast, after the Marner thing was signed, what did we call the podcast?
Rich Marner.
We titled it Rich Marner.
Because his name is Marner and he became rich.
And it was a playful like, hey, good for him.
It wasn't like, yeah, screw this guy. It was just it was wordplay.
And we were pumped because it was like, great, he's going to be in camp. Let's go win a cup.
Yeah.
What happened?
I got a frantic call from Sportsnet going, did you just call your show Rich Marner? And I was like, yeah. And like they like short circuited and they're like, can you please change it? And the difference was the podcast is not
a Sportsnet production
owned by Sportsnet. I had a really interesting situation there that they will never, ever, ever let happen again. But I had fun while it lasted. And yeah, and that is because the rumor around the office was Darren
called.
They called and kicked up a stink and
said you'll never get an interview.
And people's employment was called into question because of a post.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's 2019. That's before this show really even took off.
Yes.
So, that was for us the first of many situations.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we get annoyed. It's like, hey man, you guys just spent the whole summer talking how you're going to play in Zurich. You get this big money contract and we can't.
So the campaign started in February.
Yeah.
The article Trash in Austin was February
5th.
Wow.
February 5th.
I had it pulled up. Mitch Marner's agent, Leafs have been trying to lowball him. February 6th, 2019 at 12:26 a.m. because the news happened on February 5th. He talked with Feschuk of the Toronto Star, and he told them that so far they've been trying to lowball Marner. Agent Darius Ferris told the Toronto Star's Dave Feschuk, that's the reason we've come to this point, and this is a few days after Austin Matthews signed.
It was that day. I'm almost positive it was that.
It doesn't
day.
matter. If it was a day or two later, who cares?
Right.
I think it was like a day later. I don't think it was the exact same.
But I remember
yeah.
Austin had to answer questions about it at practice.
Yeah. Hey,
What did you
man,
think
you
about
got a
when
new contract. Isn't that great? Also, your teammate's agent motherfucked you in the media. How do you feel about that? What an insane way to operate.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, you just went to the Cup final. You're in the Olympics. You're having a great time. I implore you to enjoy yourself.
Yeah. Just enjoy your life.
Move on.
Move
on.
And if what you say is true, which is it isn't you perpetuating this, which I have a hard time believing because you employ this man. If it is, then tell him to stop. If you truly moved on, then have your representatives who represent you move on.
It's either your representative saying things on your orders, or it's him just going rogue and you not doing anything about it.
Because he knows you're going to be fine with it.
Yeah,
Right.
and I don't know which is worse.
I don't think he's going rogue. I'll tell you this,
Like,
man.
this is how-
that we've learned enough now that agents do not do anything not on purpose.
No, this is how we started with Alan Walsh, is the sword in the back thing with Marc-Andre Fleury. And I was all over that. I'm like, well, this is Fleury. And you're like, no, it's his agent. I'm like, he pays the man.
Yeah.
He pays the man. And I was very critical of Alan. And then you were like, we should do a show with him. And I'm like, you're out of your mind.
And Alan actually told us later on, he's like, yeah, somebody sent me that segment and I laughed about it. He said, I thought it was hilarious.
He thought it was funny. And there was
That's how you should take these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Mitch Marner had a problem with Darren Ferris making a whole bunch of noise about Mitch Marner, then Darren Ferris wouldn't do it. He is beholden to his client. That is his job, to do what his client wants and to advise and get all these giant contracts done. And if there was a problem, it would have stopped a long time ago. So Mitch Marner is involved. No matter if it's coming out of Darren Ferris's mouth, it never comes out of Marner's mouth. He is involved. This is the man he is paying. And it did happen on the same day, Steve.
Wow.
Good memory. The February 5th is when Austin
Psychotic behavior.
Austin Matthews' contract was signed on February 5th, 2019. And that Dave Feschuk article on the Toronto Star came out that evening.
That's not normal
February
behavior.
5th. Yep.
That's not normal behavior.
Dude.
No.
It's hateful behavior of
And if
Austin.
Marner had
Jealousy, dude. Jealousy.
problem with it, that was 7 years ago. All of this would have stopped a long time before that.
No.
We're
We need
still
to make
this day doing it.
We need to make more Stan edits. And what are we doing?
Yeah.
His camp and maybe him have hated Austin for a long time.
Or at very least, I think hated is that.
Been jealous?
Jealous.
Jealous is a
How
better
come we're
word.
not? They, instead of going, here's what we are, they keep asking and looking at the other guy going, how come we're not that? And, the reality is you didn't win any goal scoring titles. You didn't win a Hart Trophy. You didn't win a Calder. And you definitely didn't win a cup.
You don't even play center.
You don't even play center, Jesse.
At this point in Vegas, yeah, he did. But I'm talking about his Leafs
Let's be
career.
honest. It didn't go great this
Well,
year.
and put
as
up
much
the
as I
second
want to say that
lowest-
it did.
You
lowest
weren't
point total.
You weren't a center, and that stuff matters too. I don't know how he didn't.
And then he got put on right wing and was incredible.
There's a lot of delusion that I think happens with Mitch Marner and his camp, where they don't look at the reality of their situation and what they are, and see how successful he has been in his career, how happy he should be with everything he's accomplished, how unbelievably blessed he is to be drafted by his hometown team. And there just is a lack of appreciation for everything that life has given this person.
How about this, Jesse?
God's given talent that the 0.01% of humans can do on a hockey rink. It is unbelievable. And there just seems no appreciation from that level to everything the NHL has given him to the people around
or the
him.
fans that still support him and
the
went to the
fans
ice
as
when he
well.
came back to Toronto, or the fact that he got to Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final. He got 2 rounds further than he ever got in Toronto. What he should be going is, wow, what an amazing first season in Vegas. The Toronto thing's in the rearview mirror. A shame that didn't work out, but I'm here now, and my God, is it great.
Because he's heartbroken he's not here.
I think so too.
And I wish they would make the effort to answer their own questions. Austin underperformed in the playoffs as well. That's true.
100%.
That's true. I don't think he underperformed as bad. That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Underperformed, but not quite to the same level. That's just my opinion. But he underperformed. Why does he get a pass and Mitch doesn't? All right. Why does he get a pass and Mitch doesn't?
Well, I think
You're a belligerent asshole, Darren.
well, they didn't do
You've
anything.
been assassinating your client's reputation since February 2019.
It's also not
That's
even
why.
about giving him a pass, because the fan base is always going to be upset at whoever. And Willie's taken as much of hate as Mitch Marner has for his entire tenure. It's about how the contracts were set up. His contract was due up. That's why they moved on. And then Mitch Marner had the ability to move on with his career, and he decided that.
Yeah.
If we're at the same point and they're like, okay, Willie's contract is here, and we can't reach a agreement, which they did do. They reached an agreement with Willie that they were happy with. If they could reach an agreement with Marner that they were happy with, they would have done that. We heard that the entire year.
What's Willie's agent's name?
I'm not aware.
It's
what's Willie's agent's name?
Yeah, not Darren. Lewis Gross. Lewis Gross is his agent.
There you go.
I believe you. You know what I mean?
Well, you only know Austin Matthews' agent because he's Connor McDavid's agent, because he's Roman Yossi's agent.
Juddy boy.
Judd Moldaver's become a bigger name in recent years.
And what we've heard behind the scenes is Judd's a big personality, but you don't see him on podcasts.
Right. But 2019...
before that, it's Jeff Jackson, right?
Right.
Yeah.
2019, it's been the Darren Ferris Olympics.
Right.
Enough.
There is a saying around the NHL that certain teams, they're like, we want to get off the Ferris wheel. That is being said.
Well, some teams are signing up for it. Chicago.
Yeah. Well, some teams don't have a choice, Chicago.
How's it going?
So
It's going good?
I want to say
they're going to win a bunch of games this year.
I want to leave this because we had to talk about it. Now we are talking about it. We have now rebeaten the dead horse. But The Day the Horse Died is a very funny name, by the way. I think we should call the show that.
It's so long.
Oh yeah.
Let's call it Dead Horse.
Dead Horse. Yeah. But I think
That's a funny title. It's good.
You know what? I don't want to see a single complaint in the comments. The title is Dead Horse.
Yeah, that's funny.
you know what you're signing up for.
Yeah.
Don't walk into McDonald's and go, what's with all these burgers? Like, we told you, you know what we're about. It's a dead horse.
It's time for Leaf fans have moved on, and his name's Gavin McKenna. It's time for the other side to move on. And if you need me to send you a copy of it's called A Breakup Because It's Broken, I will do that. I'm happy to, and SDPN are happy to host Darren and have a real, honest, and frank conversation about how those things are those things were, I think, inappropriately told when it comes to the carjacking, but also just completely half-truths. If you would really, Darren, like to have this conversation, because I know you're going to see this clip, because I hear from you guys. I know that.
Okay.
If you want to have that conversation, we'll have it. And it'll be gentlemanly, and I'll go, okay, but what about this? And what about that? I don't think we're going to get a call.
They're horrible at hiding their sources, by the way.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff I read about Darren.
Yeah.
Darren.
Anyway,
Darren.
moving on.
I'm going to call this show Rich Marner. No one can tell me to take it down. This time around, no one's going to tell me I can't call it Rich Marner,
That's
so I'm
right.
going to do it
We're
this time.
Fully independent, Jesse.
Thanks, guys.
Are you actually?
We'll see.
Oh,
see
Jesse's
how we feel.
feeling sassy. All right. Now, let's talk about Patrick Kane going back to the Chicago Blackhawks on a 2-year, eye-watering $16 million contract. That's $8 million per year at 36 years old, and a full no move.
It's wow.
Whoa. Wow.
I mean, okay. Everyone, listen. Right out of the gate, horrible deal.
Okay.
Awful.
I think it's irrelevant.
Jesse's correct.
It is absolute. The number that Patrick Kane, because it's not $20 million, it is irrelevant.
Yes.
They have so much cap space and they can just spend it however they want. This is, to me, this signing, the Blackhawks committing to still not being good. They won't be good. If they are giving him this money, that means they do not need to save the cap space for the potential of being really good. And it's Patrick Kane. Just give him the money. Let's go have fun.
But it is part of their road
Yes.
to being good.
Yes, but it doesn't mean we'll be good tomorrow because we're
right.
spending it in this way.
Yeah. And no one thinks they're going to be good.
No.
Yeah.
So if you just have this $8 million sitting, burning a hole in your pocket,
This is, it's
I'm going to hate on them.
It shows how bad the Blackhawks has been.
Yes.
Or have been. But I remember the conversation around the Nick Foligno contract, which at the time, I think it was $4 million. But even at the time, like $4 million was crazy. And we were like, okay, yeah, it's a bad deal, but like, who cares? We know what he's there to do, and they're overpaying him for those duties, and they have the space. What does it matter? It doesn't. Go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, we're a few years later, and you're essentially doing the same thing with Patrick Kane, but it ultimately doesn't matter. The Blackhawks are doing it because no one else really can.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all right.
It's an absurd amount
A completely insane amount of money.
on paper for this human being at this age of his career.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
And full
Does it matter to them
No.
if they are just trying to be stinky?
No.
Not really.
No. And like, if things don't work out in Chicago and at the end of it, you need to trade him to a contender for probably nothing much.
$4 million because it'll be 50% retained or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
I don't think that'll.
I think you'll take a Patrick Kane at $4 million if you're a contender.
Well, it depends how he ages, right? Like
Yeah.
every day of Patrick Kane's career is a gift to him because people forget he got the hip resurfacing done, and the reason we were talking about like why would anyone sign this guy is because no one had really come back from it. I think guys had come back and played games, but they weren't able to do it sustainably. He's done it.
He's a one of one in terms of coming back from that injury.
Yeah.
100%.
He's done it. But that is 168 regular season games. That is so many games.
A lot of games.
That's what he signed for.
And I think it'll be really good for the culture, especially with Bedard out the first 6-ish weeks of the season, to have Patrick Kane there now as a focal point for your team will be great for the organization on and off of the ice.
Yeah. Listen, your team couldn't do this
No.
unless you cheer for the Chicago Blackhawks, in which case, yeah, they could do it.
Yep.
And I bet you feel, admit, like, is this the greatest hockey decision in the world? But admit,
How much?
you're not all that worried
How
about
much cap space does Chicago have?
still, like after,
I got it here. Jesse, you have it.
Yeah, it's up on the screen.
22 million.
Try 10% of that.
Oh,
Wait, you've got a different number than I do. I got the Blackhawks up, and for me it says projected cap 2.8. Jesse, what's yours say?
click refresh.
What do you mean?
My Puckpedia says 2.87. Why does yours say 7.4?
Okay, let's
have-
figure this out then.
You have night mode on. Have they made a trade since the show began?
No, I don't think so.
That'd be crazy.
That's bizarre.
That'd be crazy.
Maybe.
Here you go.
And that's how we found out.
There you go.
Oh, it is 2.8. Now,
2.8.
Bedard will be on limited LTIR to start the year.
Oh, because Bedard signed.
Yeah.
Right.
But they will have $13 million to deal with at the deadline, so that's not bad.
And look at all those expiring deals. And yeah.
That's just I was just surprised. I was like, oh,
I think where I land on the criticism of the Blackhawks is that I don't trust Kyle Davidson to be able to build this thing back up. And why I don't sit there and look at a deal like the Bo Byram deal and say the same things that I'm saying about the Patrick Kane deal is that the Bo Byram deal is a move to try and move in the winning direction. This is the legacy play of, hey, let's just do this thing for now and see where we are in 2 years. The Bo Byram deal is the move for we're trying to be competitive eventually. And I don't think that's a smart decision to make for that goal. So because the reason that this deal isn't receiving the criticism that I'd give other deals is because this isn't that. And the decisions he has made to try and make them a winning team, I don't think he's done a good job at that. And I don't trust him.
Seeing that cap number, I would like to adjust my opinion.
Yeah.
It matters a bit.
it matters.
That's crazy. I know the cap is still going to go up, but a lot of these guys are going to get raises. Like here, like who are some of the RFAs again? Next year, anyway.
Next year's RFAs are, in terms of people you want to care about, Lev Shunov, I guess.
Oliver Moore.
What about Lardis? Do you care?
Oh, Lev Shunov that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That is a very big deal.
Nick Lardis is signed for another year after
Oh,
that.
he is? Oh, my
Yeah,
bad.
he'll be okay.
Yeah. But like in terms of just next year, that's why the 2 years I think is okay.
Yeah, and the Nazer deal is, I mean, assuming he plays like he did in the first month last year, that's going to be a great deal.
Yeah, it's
I
under
guess the
$7 million.
Yeah, the term is limited. Okay.
I
guess
don't
they're
think
okay.
the Patrick Kane thing is a big deal with the cap.
Yeah, it's
you know?
not as willy-nilly as I was portraying it, but it's still a bullet they can eat.
Yep.
Totally. And like Ryan Ellis's contract, I don't think it's on LTIR here. It's 6.25, so that's going to also come off.
Okay.
Unless Ryan Ellis gets a new body and comes out of
What a shame,
retirement.
man.
Yeah.
What a
yeah.
shame.
Yeah, he was a phenomenal player, man. He was crazy. Robertson
Also-
makes almost $3 million. I'm just throwing that out there.
at the end. Oh no, TJ Brody's contract. Yeah, the big one.
Timothy.
$258K.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
Oh boy, did they retain a lot on Seth Jones.
Oh, Seth Jones is 2.5 retained. Yeah.
Yeah. But they got Spencer Knight out of it. They did.
Oh, that's a lot of years.
It sure is.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think Kyle Davidson's going to be there when they're good, or
Well-
at least he's not going to be the guy to usher them to a good team, a competitive team for a playoff spot. I don't trust his moves in the winning direction. This one, charity.
Is Kevin Korchinski a RFA right now? Is that what I just
I didn't
saw?
see him on the roster.
Kaczynski,
There he
RFA.
is.
Yeah, they still need to sign him.
Oof. You know what? This kind of sucks.
Man, Ian Cole's making $4 schmil. Wow.
Uh-huh.
UFA
There's another guy.
is going to be moved at the trade deadline.
Del Mastro's got to get. Okay. All right. Okay.
We'll
This is interesting.
see.
You know what? I like this for Chicago because they're interesting again.
Totally.
I really like this.
Oh, they're certainly
How are they going to do this? This is great. I want a world where Chicago's interesting again. Please be interesting.
I totally agree.
I think it's way better when they're interesting. Continue being interesting. You hand out your goofy ass contracts. That's fine by me. I just need to know.
Have you flipped, Steve? Do you think it's a bad move now?
I don't think it can't be bad. No
It's
way.
not a disaster. And listen, they do need they need someone who's proud of being a Blackhawk, which I think Patrick Kane is.
One thing I always think about in these negotiations, when you clearly see the player win, I'm always like, who are you negotiating against when you're the GM? Because it seems like you were just bidding against yourself. Who else was in the market in this neighborhood for Patrick Kane's services? Why is the contract so high when it was just you and Patrick Kane who wanted Patrick Kane?
No, I think other teams wanted Patrick Kane.
Buffalo.
That
Buffalo.
number?
Buffalo, not at that number.
No.
But I think his choice was go to Buffalo, make very little, but win. Go to Chicago, make a lot, help usher the new team into the new era.
They're paying a tax.
They're paying a shit tax. That's shit.
But then the money wouldn't have been close.
No, I don't think it would have been, Jesse. I think we're talking like maybe a 1 million goes up to 5 million bonus.
So
deal.
when I'm looking at you lose this negotiation, which is what it was, you lose it by that much.
You lose
Or
it by the
before
fact that you have
negotiating.
not demonstrated that you can put a good team together under this general manager.
And I don't
And
think
it's been 5 years.
and that shouldn't have cost you an extra $6 million. But it did because you're a bad GM.
They needed
At the high
They
end.
needed the PR win.
You're a bad GM.
It's
You
a good
could
PR
call it. You could call it like he overpaid by $3 million, which is still so much money. I know the cap has gone up, but and the Blackhawks should be a cap team.
I don't know about now.
I think this is a man who needs to grow some stones in these negotiations.
Maybe this is him trying to show. Okay, for as not nice as we are with the Chicago Blackhawks, and we got some stick recently in the comments, because of the Bedard conversation, which I thought we were gentle with, but you have to. I hope people detect the grading on a curve we're doing. We're trying to be like, well, here's how it could work. Here's why he might have done that. No, at the end of the day, this is an objectively stupid deal on a shit team that doesn't its future is based in magic beans. I think some of those beans are going to hit. But at the end of the day, what if you just have a really good young base and you fire your GM and you get someone who knows what they're doing and they're able to do something with that good young base?
Yeah, and I don't agree that it's objectively stupid. I think for the points we outlined at the beginning of this, where it means very little to their winning days right now, and what he means to the franchise and coming back and having the player, it's a good deal in those sense.
It's Chicago smart, league-wide stupid. And I don't mean that Chicago is stupid. I mean, they can do it. 31 other teams cannot.
Right. Yeah. Nobody should be giving Patrick Kane $8 million. And that's why I think it's still an overpay at that number, but it makes sense for them to do it.
Yeah. Those games, we talked a lot about Dylan Larkin, not meeting the occasion in March when the Red Wings were falling off. Those games at the very end of the season when Patrick Kane, chief among them, just duffed it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe that player's making It got 2 years at $8 million.
But this is the commitment to not being good.
I guess.
This is what you do when you're trying to stink.
I guess.
You give out these big contracts for the PR.
They've been doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And I think they'll be good when Kyle Davidson isn't there.
last thing we should hit before we get to Ken Daneyko, or a couple of things. First off, Jet Greaves signed his contract today. Roughly what we kind of thought it was going to be last episode, which is 3 years, $5 million a season.
That's a nice deal for Columbus.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And honestly, like you think about how many goaltending problems they've had since Bobrovsky left. It'll be nice if this actually works out to be the thing.
I want to say his first game was against the Leafs.
Yeah.
Or one of his first games. And I remember being like, this kid's good.
Yeah, actually, I do remember that too. It is worth noting that the Steve Staios of the Ottawa Senators did a Senators podcast car wash yesterday, did like 7 different interviews, and had said that there were signs Brady was going to leave dating back 2 years. So that I think is interesting. It's unfortunate we just don't have the full amount of time to get to all that. And maybe we can get it next week because listen, the news has fallen off a cliff here. Dallas has announced it's signed Jason Robertson. And I do want to talk about this a little bit before we get to Ken Daneyko because it is a 1-year, $12 million deal. It happened on his birthday, which is kind of nice.
Happy birthday.
Avoids arbitration. But Jim Nill said, and I think this has got to be the headline, we want this to work long-term.
Yes.
So I wonder what the number is. 12 million is $500,000 less than Mikko Rantanen. Next year, or if you sign a contract that starts next year, sorry, not this coming year, but the year after, right? So 27, 28, it can't be less than Mikko Rantanen. And word was, well, it can't be more than Mikko Rantanen this year. Okay, but next year it's going to have to be. This guy is going to get less money than Cutter Gauthier, going to get less money than Connor Bedard, going to get less money than Leo Carlson, obviously. Those guys are all RFAs. Yes, I know that he is too. He is unbelievably underpaid. So Dallas is really going to have to step up and really pay this guy.
And they can on January 1st. If they
choose to. But I don't think they've got that deal sewn up, obviously. Otherwise, they would have signed it. And here's the thing they're missing out on by waiting till January 1st. It can't be an 8-year deal.
Yeah. Here's the thing. You ever go to well, of course you go to a restaurant and you look at the menu. How many pages is the menu? Right? How many items are on the average menu of a restaurant that you go to?
Well,
right?
Usually the shorter the menu, the better.
Right. Usually, but a lot of like the chain places, I promise I'm going somewhere with this. There's like
he couldn't make a movie reference, Jesse. He hasn't been to one.
Land this plane, Steve Dangle. Land it.
Maybe there's 20 things, 30 things, 40 things, depending on the place you go
I'm
to.
locked in now.
What do you order for your entree? One thing. Yeah, there's 32 teams, right? Okay, well, here's Seattle. And they're willing to give you the amount of money that you want, or they're
a record-breaking $125 million contract.
Just a completely goofy amount of money. Yeah, well, I don't want to go there because of this. Oh, okay. And what you start to realize is, you know what? I'm going to get what I always get. Basically, Jason Robertson.
He's getting chicken strips.
He's at a Jack Astor's, and he's like, you know what?
I don't need this menu.
don't need this menu. No, I don't.
Do you think he landed the plane, Adam?
I think he landed the plane. I give you that. I like that. Did you think he landed the plane?
6 out of 10.
You give a 6?
That's a pass.
Oh, yeah.
That's a pass.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's
that's
definitely
his
a
math
pass,
mark,
but-
man. That's great.
It is higher than my math mark.
We've been to different restaurants.
Oh, wow. Are you saying there isn't fine dining in Whitby Ajax, Jesse? How dare you?
Oh, no, I wouldn't say that.
Whoa. You don't talk shit about the culinary wonders of Durham region.
I wouldn't say
Very
that.
underrated.
It just has Steve been there.
Oh, yeah, better point.
As he walked
Better
in.
point.
Yeah.
Better point. Better point. All right. Now, to end the show, we've got a real treat for you.
Do you think Jason Robertson is a Dallas Star next season?
Yes.
Not this upcoming one after.
And I think it will be something stupid like $14.5 million, which is what it should be right now. And
I'd be frustrated.
And even then, that would be a steal.
I'd be frustrated at that amount of money.
I think that's what it's going to be. Something like that.
After all
Wouldn't that be on the table now?
It should be on the table now, but I don't think it is. I think they weren't willing to go past 13.
I don't think Dallas
long term.
can. So here's the thing. I think he very obviously wants to be in Dallas long term. And Jim Nill is like, dude, also want you.
Mhm.
The amount of money that you are worth, we cannot pay you. We literally cannot do it. We've shed money from the roster and we still cannot pay you that amount of money. Here's a solution. Like, we've tried to trade you. We were going to send you here. We were going to send you there. We had these discussions. Or now that we're here and it's July, here's $12 million, which is still just a crazy amount of money. And you play, you be Jason Robertson, and we'll talk in January and we'll figure it out.
I think Jason Robertson is too good of a player to just lose him like this, or even just trade him because you're not getting Jason Robertson back. And I think the idea that the giant contract's coming the next time around and that they can't afford him right now, but they can in a year's time, is because Tyler Seguin's $9.85 million is coming off the books.
Yes.
There is your Jason Robertson money.
There it is.
And then because their salary cap still works with him making the $12 million, you only need to take like 3-4 from that Tyler Seguin contract, give it to Jason Robertson, and then you still have moves to do your other stuff.
Even more. Like,
this, I feel like this thing's going to work out for them.
Yes.
Yeah. And they need to keep him. You will be better by having him on your team long term.
None of the solutions I saw with him really made a ton of sense.
No, like doing the Larkin thing, I don't think it was going to work.
Like, I know why Dallas would do that.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Detroit doing that?
And they didn't.
Why is he doing that?
Yeah.
What, like, especially him? What? I'm going to go to Detroit right now because why?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go to Seattle because why?
What if this 1-year deal is a wink winch? I know he didn't talk about it like this. He said, we'll see what I'll do long term. But what if it's just everybody in the back of your mind, this is our 1-year bridge when next season we actually have the cap space to do it? You know, like, what if they actually came to this decision? It was like, hey, do 12 now, and next year we can do 15 because we will have the space to do 15 long term.
And let's say it doesn't work out. If you're Dallas, now you're trading, the deals you were doing with Vegas, you're talking about a guy making $15 million. What if you're able to trade a much cheaper Jason Robertson mid-season or at the deadline? Or
The
something
12
like
that he is now, yeah.
Imagine what you're able to do with that.
Yeah.
Now, it sounds like a selling move, but like...
Hey, anything can happen. We didn't think Florida was going to fall off a cliff this year.
And look at the Mikko Rantanen thing, and where did he end up?
Yeah.
Dallas.
Yeah.
Right? So they're creative. They could do it.
No, Jim Nill's a very good general manager. Okay. Now we have a really great treat for you from 3 Ice, from New Jersey's local broadcast as well, because we love him so much, Mr. Ken Daneyko. Welcoming for the first time, and we definitely hope not the last time. Don't screw this up, Steve.
I'll
Do
try.
not screw this up,
try.
Mr. Ken Daneyko. All right.
Hi, fellas. How are you? I know what's coming next.
We're great, Ken. I hope you're having a good time. And just remember, this show is brought to you by the New Jersey State Lottery. Anything can happen in Jersey.
So, Ken.
How would you rate that?
Yeah, I got to know.
You know what? Really tough for me to rate that because I don't really know exactly what I sound like, but
Fair.
I'll give it an A for effort.
All right.
And hey, I only read the script. We got to get all the advertisements in. You try that. It's not easy having to throw in New Jersey Lottery during the time we score.
Yeah.
So that's not on me, guys.
The first time I saw it, Ken, it was on a breakaway, and I forget who it was. Probably Jack Hughes or something. And it was like a phenomenal move. And I felt bad for you because obviously we all have broadcasting backgrounds and we know what that's like. And you're like, and it's like, what a great goal. And then it's brought to you by the New Jersey State Lottery. And it's just like, that's not easy to do.
No. And believe me, over the years, I have asked my producer, I'm saying, do we have to do that? He says, Kenny, it pays the bills.
Yeah.
So, I get it. I understand. And like I said, I do what they tell me for the most part. That's all you can do.
Yeah, and you like your paycheck, so you're going to keep
I
doing
like my
it.
paycheck. Yeah.
So you're a good
sport. I'm in the moment. I'm a fan too. I want their success. So I don't really want to do an advertisement. But like I said, New Jersey Lottery, they're big time. They pay our bills, and they're a good partnership.
And we in Toronto know the cell line. That's how well. Anything can happen in Jersey.
I thought you guys would understand it. Again, it's above my pay grade at times, but whatever they tell me to do, it's all good.
Yeah, and I just want to compliment the broadcast that you guys have down there, because it's a great watch, especially the intermissions. Like you'll talk to the players at the benches sometimes, and we don't get a lot of creativity and just honesty on the broadcast that you guys have there. It's really good.
I appreciate that. Look, it's not rocket science. I mean, you just try to share your experiences, because we've been through a lot of what the players have been through, certainly, playing as long as I did, and Bryce as well. So, I mean, that's all I can do. But I love it. I'm passionate about the game. I'm a hockey junkie, not just my team. So I love still being involved.
So, Ken, we talked a little bit about Three Ice earlier in the episode, so I'm going to save that for just a second.
Sure.
I got it. Listen, you were a guy that I would always trade for in my NHL games growing up, because you always had the hammer beside your name, and I could just blow people up. But you have to understand, as Maple Leaf fans, how you broke our heart in two for several years running. And those teams you played on, Cup-winning teams that almost did it in the early 2000s, were unbelievable. And I know you played before that, but that's just the era where we came into it. And I gotta say, do you ever look back on those days? The New Jersey trap, all the things that you guys did, and that trap was so effective they had to eliminate basically the red line from being a factor.
They changed the rules.
You literally changed rules. Do you ever think about how incredible those teams were? Or is that just a part of your life?
Well, first off, let me go back, and I've explained this to so many members of the media or in interviews on the radio, that I never heard the word trap once in our dressing room. So I guess that was manufactured by the media.
Okay.
Never mentioned it. And let's not forget, that was brought in the Jacques Lemaire era, and it was basically cutting the ice in half. But after that, if people really do their homework and study, I mean, yes, were we great defensively? Does defense win championships? Yes. Did we have the great Marty Brodeur? That's all you need as far as the trap, because we had good defensemen, great three pairs, and a great goaltender.
Yeah.
But if you look at our 2000 team, all that stuff, that narrative should be long gone. 2000, we were the second highest scoring team in the National Hockey League in the regular season. 2001, the year we lost the cup. If people take the time to look it up, we were number one in the National Hockey League, if I'm not mistaken, in goals. So I don't know how much of a trap that is when you're scoring that often. We were just really damn good defensively, and we had one of the greatest goaltenders of all time. So was it fun playing with those teams? Of course, because we knew how to win. We all understood our role. We sacrificed all those great things. And going back to the Leafs, what you're talking about, in the two great series I believe we had in two of our Stanley Cup runs, those were the best Leaf teams in the last 40 years, in my estimation. They were really good.
No question.
And those were great series. So I have all the respect in the world for those particular series and those Leaf teams that we had battles with, physical, fast-paced, great stars on both sides. We happened to have their number and get by them a couple of times. And that one infamous game, I think, was it a game 6 or 7, that closed it out, where we relinquished 6 shots on goal. That still amazes me to this day. But that's nothing against the Leafs. I mean, look, that's one of those nights where you can frustrate your opponent, and just that's what we did that night, and we ended up winning the game, I believe 5-1. But those Leaf teams, the Robertson, the Domies, who's a good friend of mine now, I can go on down the list. I mean, just great series, and again, what a battle those were.
Yeah, that game came up a few times this season, because the past Leafs team was pushing on that record a few times through 2 periods.
Yeah.
So depressing times.
Yeah, but that was regular season, and it was against mediocre teams. So.
Yeah.
It was just an anomaly. I mean, one of those nights where we just had everything like a well-oiled machine. The chain link was all together, and there was just nowhere to go for the Leafs on that particular playoff game.
Yeah.
Is it difficult at all to ignore like the shot clock when you're in the middle of all that? Like, because surely at some point during the game you looked up and you're like, they haven't even got 10 shots. They haven't even hit 5. Like we're kicking their ass right now.
Yeah.
Like how do you stay locked in, and do you notice that in the moment?
Well, I do remember, I think going back to Marty at one point, I think there was 3 shots, and I say, stay focused, big fella. And we kind of, had a chuckle, a little grin with each other. And I kind of alluded to the fact, though, we're dialed in, Marty. So you might get a chance. When you do, you'd better be prepared, because he just had obviously nothing against him. But I did allude to it. It's a good feeling as a team, I'll tell you that. And a lot of teams have done it. It doesn't just have to be that game in particular, 6 shots, whether it's the Carolina Hurricanes in this year's playoffs or whoever has had success over the last few years, Florida Panthers, where when you're in, everything's, you got a good game going if you got a heavy forecheck or you're creating offensive chances. But when you're dialed in and locked in, that because it takes everybody, if you alter your positioning or everybody's not reading off each other, it breaks down quickly. But when you're kind of in that mode and have it going on defensively as well, it's a hell of a feeling as a team, because you feel it on the bench. You're like, man, they're going to get nothing here. I mean, it's just, and and when you're frustrating the hell out of a team at the time. So yeah, it was a lot of fun, but to me, it was all about winning, whatever it took on a nightly basis. Some nights it's different, and that particular night was a good feeling. And Marty, who was very loose, and that's what made him great as far as a goaltender, and he didn't face a lot of shots on particular nights, but when it did come, that's when, what makes a goaltender special. He was able to focus. And that's not easy, I would imagine, for any goaltender. But he kind of got a chuckle out of it and says, "Yeah, I'll be ready, Dano, when the chance does come."
And he was.
They just didn't come that night in particular.
Ken, your rookie season, so you're drafted in 82. Your rookie season is the infamous year where Wayne Gretzky called the New Jersey Devils a Mickey Mouse franchise.
Oh.
I got to talk to you about where the Devils were to where they came. So first off, the first answer I need to get is, which jersey did you prefer? The red, white, and black, or the green, red, white, and black New Jersey Devils? Are you Christmas tree jersey, or are you 90s jersey?
When we did make the change in the 90s, it was kind of refreshing, because black was kind of
the cool color.
The cool color, the in color. So black and red was kind of, what you wanted, I think at the time, all of us did as players. But then you go back to the retro jerseys and watching the guys now, and I'm going, you get sentimental and going, that's how we started, and that was the colors. And I think the retro jerseys they've been using over the last handful of years, the green is a lot sharper and crisp and a little darker. So I love those too, because you go back to the old days. And those old days weren't great. And I think it was the second year Gretzky referenced the Mickey Mouse year in 1983, because I started my playing career as a 19-year-old and played 11 games, broke my leg the 11th game against the Hartford Whalers, and happened to be in the stands that with a big cast on, I believe, or watching that game that was 13-4 final, I think. And I always said, if I was in the lineup, that game would have only been 8-4. So I would have had something.
We believe you,
or I wanted to believe it. But I'm pretty good friends with Wayne Gretzky, and I grew up in Edmonton, got to know him at a young age, because Mark Messier was my dear friend and mentor from 10 years old on, growing up in Alberta there, and so I got to watch all those dynasty teams, those great Oiler teams, and there's not a better person or greater player than Wayne Gretzky. And I think he was just frustrated for his old teammate, Ronnie Lowe, I think, who was getting all those pucks blown by him that year. And hey, look, as I know, the fans still hold up the signs every once in a while and everything, and still mock it. But to me, it was a turning point, really, whereas, what are we doing here? I mean, we need to get better management. We need better coaches. We need better players. And I wanted to be part of that. So Gretzky probably did us a favor at the time, to tell you the truth. We were winning 17 games a year, then 23 games a year. And it was so much more gratifying to go through those incredibly tough times to where we got to. And I was just happy they didn't trade me by then, because you usually get traded before you become a championship team. And I was glad it just really came full circle. And I just wanted to be part of the solution. I know I was one of those guys that, we're going to become something one day. I used to tell the media that all the time, and they used to laugh at me a little bit because I was very open and wore my emotion on my sleeve. And I said, you can laugh now, but we're going to become something someday. And I'm just glad it came to life.
Okay, so then I got to ask about Robbie Ftorek throwing the bench on the ice when Jay Pandolfo got, I think was it a high stick by Matthew Daneyko I
think he got hit from behind and went crashing into the boards. Yeah. Truthfully,
what was that like?
It was accidental. I mean, look, dude, Robbie Ftorek had a little fire, and it was a little surprising. We didn't know how to react, really, but yeah, firing the bench on the ice. I mean, I don't know if you get away with that these days. I can't remember. I think did he get suspended for?
I don't even know. I could look it up, but
I'm gonna guess yes.
I hope so.
He did get.
Ironically, or unfortunate for Robbie Ftorek, he didn't last that season, right? I mean,
you're right.
We were in first place the first time. We saw Vegas do it this year, and the first time that you ever seen a general manager fire a coach with 8 games to go, and you're in first place. But it turned out to be the right decision at the time, and I have all respect for Robbie Ftorek and everything else. But Lou Lamoriello and the team was Stanley Cup or bust, and he didn't believe we were going to get it done, so he brought back a familiar face who was assistant coach at the time, Larry Robertson, to lead the charge, and everything worked out that year, obviously winning our second Stanley Cup.
So for a long time, like, we've known about the legend of Lou Lamoriello, and we know what to expect and shave your face and all that stuff. What were the early years of Lou like before everyone kind of got tuned into what he's about?
Yeah, well, first off, there's always a method to his madness, I will say. And some of it was absolutely, we thought as players, insane, some of the rules and regulations and discipline. But when he came to the Devils in '88, nobody knew who Lou Lamoriello was. And it was a real shot out of nowhere from our late great owner, who was like a second father to me, John McMullen, who I just loved, and loyal as a person as you're going to find. But he wanted to get the team turned around. He was so passionate about bringing the team to New Jersey first off, and finally bringing some recognition and so just to get the team to understand we got to become winners eventually here. And he finds this guy out of Providence College, an AD who was well respected in those circles, but not really known, where you usually bring in a well-known GM who had experience. And when he first came into our dressing room, fellas, I'll just tell you this. We're looking at this guy, and he kind of reminisced the Wolverine. Like, you could tell he commanded respect right away. And that's kind of what you want. And it was like, don't F with this guy. You could just feel it right out of the gate. Like, we've maybe thought initially we're going to run roughshod on this rookie GM and college guy coming from college. When he came in the room, oh boy, did you listen. He had that it factor, of you want to mess around and find out kind of deal with Lou Lamoriello. And that's kind of how, right out of the gate, the message he got across, that I'm going to bring some structure, discipline, belief that this team is going to turn it around. And it started with physicality, because he felt the team was getting pushed around a lot from watching previous years. And so he added some reinforcements, and he mentioned that. I'll never forget a meeting where Dr. McMullen, we called him, our owner, will always, and Lou Lamoriello addressed the team, addressed the camp, all 60 guys that were in camp, at a dinner prior to opening day. And John McMullen gets up there and goes, and I always remember this so well. He goes, "Yep, we're no longer the team that poor Kenny Daneyko has to go down to Philadelphia and get his head kicked in." Exact words verbatim, because they added a young Troy Crowder and Jim Korn and Dave Maley and a couple of other guys that, could bring some physicality along the way. And that's something Lou wanted to address when the game was played that way. And after the meeting, I said to Dr. Mack, I said, "Geez, Mack, I thought I did pretty good in some of those scraps." But he goes, "You get the point. I was trying to send a message. We're not going to get pushed around anymore." And I was kind of relieved as well, because I'm going, now I might have to get to fight the third or fourth toughest guy, because they had Brown, Berube, Tocchet, even Cochran back then.
Yeah.
I'm going, this is going to be kind of it's a lot better for me in that regard. And I remember, guys, and I'll leave it at this, driving the bus down the turnpike south to Philadelphia. For the first 5 years of my career, you could hear a pin drop when we were going to Philadelphia. I mean, it wasn't about winning or losing. It was about survival and coming out alive. It really was. That was you could hear a pin drop. I mean, there was no emotion, no noise. Everybody was just nervous. So when Lou Lamoriello came his first year, the first bus ride down to Philadelphia there was hooting, there was hollering, nobody seemed to be as scared. And I'm sitting in my chair with Joe Sorella, who was another guy that, stuck up for the colors. And me and Joe, we're sitting on the bus. Look, we turn to each other and we go, "It's different now. It's different. We're going into Philadelphia feeling a lot more comfortable going into the Spectrum."
I love that.
Adam's going to ask you.
True story.
Adam's going to ask you some questions about 3 Ice.
Yeah,
but
I am.
Before we do that, I just want to, lastly, I want to get your thoughts on this current New Jersey Devils team. And are you hopeful that they can get back to the playoffs? What's it going to take for them to turn this around? Because it's one of the best fan bases, one of the most passionate fan bases in the NHL. And when things are going well in New Jersey,
they let us know.
They let us know.
They absolutely let us know.
We hear from them a lot because there's so many and they're so passionate. So are you hopeful that they can get back to the playoffs this season?
I am. I mean, obviously, I find, guys, especially in today's game, I mean, the league is at an all-time high as far as competitive balance, right? Yeah. So there's a couple of top teams in my estimation. You can probably put a few there, like Carolina, who just won the Cup, Colorado maybe, Florida, obviously, with the down year and the Barkov injury, but still up there. And after that, in my estimation, for the most part, and Vegas maybe throw in there, you can throw a blanket over 25 teams, even all the teams that didn't make the playoffs, because the bottom has been raised. It's that tight. So you don't know who's going to make playoffs. 8 different teams made the playoffs this year. So when we make those predictions in September, we throw in all the same teams as analysts, and it's always different now. And now that the Buffaloes and Montreals and San Jose's and all these teams are continue to get better and better, it's tough. It's tough just to make the playoffs.
Yep.
Yeah, do I think we're going to have a chance? Do I like the new direction of our general manager? Our new general manager, I do. He's calculated. He's intelligent. He's well thought out. Have had many conversations with him, and you just feel it. And that doesn't mean it's always going to work out. I mean, we always talk about the summer and you won that trade, and this is a great acquisition. Well, I never judge that until I see the results. Even if it looks good on paper, it may not work out. And Sonny made us smart enough to understand that. I mean, but I do like his thought process. I like a lot of the things he's implemented already. And again, the way everybody thinks it's just analytics. No, he's a smart hockey guy, and he's coming from the Florida Panthers, a team that went to the Stanley Cup Finals 3 years in a row. So does that give me, and won 2 cups? Does that give me optimism? Because that can't help but rub off, and you take your experiences from that and implement players that you feel are going to help you achieve your goal. And that, for me, is becoming a sustainable playoff team even before you become a Stanley Cup contender. So, yeah, am I cautiously optimistic? Of course I am. I go in like that every year, but we will see. Time will tell. And but I do have some belief in Sonny here, not just the words. I mean, he was a diehard Devil fan. He bleeds the colors. This is his dream job. and you feel that passion.
Mhm. I love that. I love that. Scary times.
He was watching me as a 7-year-old kid play with the New Jersey Devils with his starter jacket on. That's all true. That's all real. So this is really his, you feel it when you talk to him. This is his dream job. It's come full circle for him. I mean, he came from, and he was with the Devils organization for 3 years in the analytics department, but he's paid his dues. He's come a long way, and here he is with his dream job. And guys that have that much determination and passion and emotion, I'm gonna trust in them, and I don't believe they're gonna fail in the long run.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And for that franchise, that's the exact person you want there.
Yeah,
you need someone who bleeds New Jersey Devil, and it sounds like he does.
Yeah,
well, we know he does.
He gets it. He gets it.
Yeah.
I do want to talk to you about 3 Ice, because we talked a lot about it off the top of the show. But Ken, this is a tournament with real players who've played NHL games, a lot of AHL games in there as well, names that we recognize, and coaches that we recognize, guys from, I don't know, Philadelphia, like John LeClaire, who you are coaching, and Ray Bourque is a part of this as well. How did you get involved? And more importantly, I think, you're a great broadcaster. Tell us why this is something every summer we should look forward to. This is season 4. And it's something that it's premiering this weekend here on SDPN and a multiple, many other channels as well. And we're we want to get a sense of why people should be so excited about this.
Now, well, first off, you mentioned the legendary players, and this is only my second season or second summer of 3 Ice. They'd asked me or approached me to coach the New York, New Jersey team. And I'm like, what? You really want me for this 3 Ice thing? I mean, I played with a lot of high-end skilled players along the way, but, and I've never really been in the coaching circle. But then when I saw the names, Ray Bourque and John LeClaire and Guy Carbonneau and Grant Fuhr and Larry Murphy, 6 of 8 Hall of Famers, and John LeClaire probably on the cusp of being a Hall of Famer. And then me, I'm going, of course I want to be in that circle, just the hot stove and alone. So I said, yeah, I'd love the challenge. It's something to do in the summer, something to keep busy. Like I said, I'm a hockey junkie, and I didn't know what to expect, fellas, at first, going into last season where we held the tournament in Florida, or the season in Florida. And I'm going to tell you, it was way more than I even could have entailed as far as the excitement. First off, I will say this. I've gone with the times. My era was my era. I love the way the game has gone. Do I like to still see the odd fight in the game? Great, but I don't need to see it every day. Do I love to see the skill and speed of these players and creativity of the way the game's gone and technology and training regimes? I tell fans or people that I don't even like to compare eras and could you play in this era? Because I was training in a boxing gym when I was 18, when these players are training with skills coaches. That's just the way it is. That's the evolution of the game. Because if you weren't tough in my era, if you didn't have the elite skill like a Scott Niedermayer, one of my great teammates, because you can't translate it from junior or college, you got to get your foot in the door by being tough. Well, nowadays, it's got come full circle to mostly skill. And yes, we still have the physicality, but this is kind of what 3 Ice. I personally sometimes root for the Devils to get to overtime because I love the 3-on-3, and I know we have a good chance with Jesper Bratt, Jack Hughes,
no kidding,
Nico Hischier, because we're pretty darn good in overtime, and just that open ice and the plays these guys make. So that's always been one of my highlights of doing the analysis for the New Jersey Devils. And then 3 Ice, when they asked me to coach it, I'm like, okay, I'll venture in and see what this is all about. And I couldn't believe how you mentioned a lot of pros, some former NHLers, a lot of ECHL, a lot of pros in Europe. And you take for granted how many skilled players that maybe didn't even make it to the National Hockey League, whether it's opportunity, whether it's chance to go, wow, are these guys high-end, fast-paced, great players? And that's what I found coaching in the second season here is just the pace of play and the creativity. You want to see Michigan's, all these guys can do it and do it quickly on breakaways and things. I envy the goaltenders because it's nothing but nonstop action, fast paced, go. Even the rules, they have the, like the NBA, you can't do the over and back different than the NHL to regroup, can't go past the red line or you lose possession because they want it to the game to constantly be going. Even when you score a goal, the goalie has to take it out of net and you keep the play going. That's kind of the mindset of the league. And yeah, it's been really rewarding because for me, there's not much strategy. I talked to Jack Hughes and Bratton. I said, "Can you give me some advice before my first season last year?" And it happens so quick that you got to let these guys rely on their instincts and their abilities.
Yeah.
But I try to bring that passion, emotion that I've always brought off and on the ice, and the players love that. And that's for me, just watching these guys do what they do. And yes, if I can give a little insight and saying, well, I saw Jack Hughes do this last year in the game, and maybe they can blend that into their thought process along the way. But I've just really enjoyed, they always say the second best thing to playing is coaching. I never believed that or knew that. I always wanted to stay in the game. Now I'm going, maybe I missed my calling 20 years ago because I never knew I'd have this much fun at it. And these guys are competitive and they take it seriously. And yeah, there's prize money and yeah, there's different aspects to it. But these players have loved it. I think it's going to grow more and more. EJ Johnson, I think, and his staff have done a terrific job of promoting it. We had a 3-ice World Cup and I had the privilege for the first time in Belfast, Ireland. I had the privilege, it was about 3 weeks ago, of coaching Team USA. And the building was packed. Wow. 6,000 where the Belfast Giants play in their professional league over there in the England, Scotland, Ireland area. And boy, it opened my eyes again that this thing might gain traction and have legs similar to 3-on-3 basketball and what they have going on there. And it just keeps eyes on the game of hockey. In the summer, the NHL has really supported it as well, guys, from a media standpoint. Now, they get it. We want to keep people watching hockey for 12 months a year, and you're watching a pretty good damn brand of hockey here as well. They had a 3-ice kids this year for the first time. So a lot of good things on the docket for them, and I believe in the product.
There you go. Well, listen, you can find 3-Ice here at SDPN, premiering tomorrow night, but also over the weekend with NHL Network, NHL YouTube, FanDuel Sports Network, St. Clair Broadcast Group, DAZN, and a whole bunch of regional networks as well. So, Kenny, it's been a real pleasure speaking to you. Thank you for your time and your stories, and we hope that this is just the first of many because there's so many stories we haven't even got to yet that we'd love to talk to you about. You're a great guy, and we very much appreciate it today.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on and promoting and talking a little bit about 3-Ice because it really is it's a great thing in the off season for our diehard hockey fans. And yes, guys, I got to come back on. Keep up the great work because I got enough stories to choke a horse. We can have a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
When I get rolling, I can't stop. So,
it's beautiful.
It's great.
And I can even laugh at myself along the way. But great stuff. And I know you guys got a great following, so I appreciate you having me on.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.